Well, how we all get along today? Well, me, not so well. This d17 PTO project has turned into quite the odyssey, I would say. So I've pretty much had it with mail order. Again, I ordered gaskets that put this back together, and the USPS has lost them. They haven't been tracked in over a week. They have no ideas. I can't wait no longer, and in the long run it's going to save me money anyway. So for the 3 gaskets I needed, it was upwards of 125 bucks, 130 bucks for those gaskets. And so I'm just going to go ahead and make my own, which, I had that in the back of my mind anyway. So we're ready to put this thing back together, and I'm going to take you all along for a little trip of how to make your own gaskets. So a couple key points for making your own gaskets. Number one, before you start doing your cutting and measuring, clean all surfaces up real good. I clean the mating surfaces up with some brake clean, get all the oil and everything off of them so it doesn't contaminate your gaskets while you're trial fitting them and what have you. Next thing would be is picking the right gasket material. Make sure you look at not necessarily the instructions, but the specifications of the gasket material. Some of them's only made for coolant, some of them's made for water, some's made for oil, some's made for gasoline, other petroleum products, diesel fuels, and what have you. So what I've chose today is a sheet of 30-25 Felpro. It's good for oil, which is what I'm working with. Relatively inexpensive. I think I got this roll. I think it's 18 inches wide. Oh shoot, I can't remember how long, but longer than I needed, for like 21 bucks. This one gasket I'm going to make right here was damn near 90 bucks, not including shipping and what have you. Don't require no special tools, no special skills. So my favorite ones, old pair of 10 snips for cutting them. This material's 1/8 inch thick. Don't use these for cutting metal anymore, but they make darn good gasket shears. You can use your wife's scissors if she'll let you in the house. Old utility knife, do that for my rough cutting. Magic marker is your friend. So this tractor has a couple of alignment pins. So when I do my first setup, I'm going to color them alignment pins with the marks a lot, and that will transfer to the gasket so I can start my first hole so the thing ain't wiggling around. I'll show you that anchors are down good. The next greatest thing to have is a set of gasket punches, or leather punches, whatever you want to call these, gasket punches. But if you do not have one for the size you need, a pretty cool old trick, and I've been using it for years, is just take your pipe nipple and sharpen down the end of it on the old grinder, and you can turn that upside down and just tap that with a hammer, and that will cut you a hole right in that gasket real nice. But I'm lucky. I got the right tool this time, which is rare. Well, let me turn this camera around and we'll show you what we got going on. I'm going to start my anchor point so I don't get off and end up all cattywampus. I'm going to color the end of that pin with the old magic marker. I'm not going to do the bottom one yet, because once I do this top pin, I'm going to anchor with the 2 top bolts so this thing don't slide around and I end up getting off. I've already trimmed that material to fit up under the dash real nice, so that way I can at least have a good flat starting point. Make sure you measure twice, cut once, all that good stuff. So we're going to slide that baby up in there. Make sure got plenty of room, want some overhang all the way around. It's easier to trim it off than put it back. It's kind of hard to weld gasket material. Alright, so I think we pretty much got that. So I'm just going to give her a little gentle press. Take the old thumb, roll it around, and that should transfer that first part. Looky there, that's my first hole. Well, there's a darn good reason my wife don't allow me in the kitchen, because I'm always stealing her kitchen utensils to use in the garage. This is a prime example. Old cutting board that was left unattended, so I absconded with that and got her out here in the shop, and I've been using this for a long time for making gaskets, cutting gaskets. Good flat surface. Try to keep it relatively clean. So I've got my first hole lined out. I did make a mistake in miscalculating. The biggest gasket punch I have is a 3/8 and the bolts are 1/2 inch. But I'm going to go ahead and punch this thing out with 3/8 just to show how you get going, and then I'm going to have to use the old pipe nipple trick and make me a little bit larger punch. So you just center up over what you got going on. Looks good and centered. Take your old stroking tool. Give her a little wiggle. Out she come. Look at that. You couldn't get a finer hole. So that's going to help me line up while I get the first bolt hole started. Well, alright, I got my first hole. Got that done. I've taken my marks a lot, marked around these holes here at the top, just the top two to get started. Also wet down the surface just a hair to also help transfer the outlines. A little bit of water. Get her pressed on there. And just give her a good little pressing. Get those first holes started. Just give me an outline is all I need, just an outline. Alright, let's see. Got that going. That should have transferred the first one. Once those done, I'll show you another trick that makes life a little easier. There's my first holes transferred. Ready to go. I know you can use grease. I've done that, and I would do that if it wasn't for wanting a clean surface for my gasket material. I don't want to contaminate my gasket at this time. So I'm just going to use a little bit of water. Let's get to punching these holes out. Well, alright. I've taken my gasket punch and centered it in the holes, the markings I'd left, and given her a little twist on each one. Double check the measurements to make sure they were right, because I do not want to mess up at this point. So now we're just going to give her another little tap. Give her a twist. Another little tap. Alright, that one comes straight through. Let's see, go back to this one. Alright, now we've got our 3 anchor points, so that's going to work good. We're going to bolt that on there with a couple of short bolts, and then we'll show you another little trick for outlining everything. Well, alright, before we go hog wild on this, I'm going to go ahead and color around my holes. Give them a marker. Get my last dowel pin, because that's going to be important getting that referenced. So once I get that dowel pin, we'll move our way on down. But that dowel pin is going to be my next step. Make sure this puppy goes on there good and straight. Don't want no gaps, no bunches up, nothing like that. Got my bolts already ready to go. Got me a couple short bolts. We'll get them started in the hole so she can't slip, because I'm kind of fumble fingered. These gorilla paws do not serve me well. Get down in there. Alright, we got that puppy on there finger tight. She ain't going nowhere. Now to transfer what we can, we're going to go down to that alignment pin, and now we're just going to give her a little tap with the hammer. Alright, so we know darn good and well that one's good and marked. So I'm going to back her back out, take her back to the bench and put that last hole in, and we'll be ready to transfer everything to the gasket. We'll be making some progress. We might have this tractor back together today. Yeah, we got a good transfer there. I'll be able to mark that right out of there. Well, alright, now we're cooking with gas. We got 4 reference points, so there's much less chance of me screwing things up. But we're gonna go ahead and mark all of our holes. When it's all said and done before assembly, I'll come back with brake clean and clean all this up, so that way there's no chance of contamination. Just what little bit was left on the gasket. We'll be ready in just a minute. All right, we got them all markered up. Now we're ready to apply our gasket one last time. We'll get her on that upper pin. Get her bolt started. It's already starting to look like something. Isn't that amazing? Alright, let's push that down on there. Let's see, get the bottom one. Now we are golden. Look at that. Now the next little trick is to take your stroking tool and just start. Follow that puppy around. That not only transfers where you need to cut, but it's also going to transfer those hole holes. Kind of noisy, but serves the purpose. See, if I keep that up real slick like, it'll actually cut that material over that sharp casting edge. That one's starting to go. Sure and hold her good and tight and flat so there's no mistakes. Same around the inside lip. Just gets transferred all the way to the gasket. It's a little thin down there on the bottom. I don't know why they didn't put more meat when they cast that thing. You think there at the bottom is where you'd want the greatest sealing surface, but obviously the old engineers did not think that way. All right, now I'm gonna tap my holes in. Just ever so lightly. That ought to be good and transferred. That should give me what I need to know. All right, I'll get this thing off and back on the table. Well, looky there. It almost looks like I knew what I was doing. That almost looks like a gasket. So I'm going to take my little shears and trim that up around the outside. I could have kept tapping on it and it would have eventually cut the rest of it, but I was wanting to be extra careful. That's a pretty good sized piece of material to mess up. Now the other good thing is I can use this center part again to make me more gaskets. Let's see, get that one off there. Okay, we're about 1,000 now. Turn that around. Let's just go ahead and nip that off there. go. Yesterday it was nice and toasty warm, the sun was shining, all that good stuff, and I had to be at work. Today the wind's blowing on 40 degrees. You hear me complain about this often. Missouri weather, just, if you don't like what you got, stick around because it'll change. It just seems to never change in my favor. All right. So now we're going to go ahead and tap out the rest of these holes that are marked, and I won't bore you with me tapping around on it because it gets kind of annoying, I'm sure. Tap, 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 tap. So I'll let you see the end product when we're done, and we'll cut the center out. Well, there you go. We got her all trimmed up, cleaned up, ready to go. Make sure that there's no bulges or anything. There's a little bit more trimming I'll do over there because you don't want anything to interfere with that sealing surface and when you bolt this thing together. I sure wish they'd left a little bit more meat down there on the bottom because that makes no sense at all. Everywhere else around here to the side, you got a good solid inch of meat, and you get down there to the bottom of that casting and there's only about a ½ inch. It's almost like they want the damn thing to leak. But that's neither here nor there. I'll get this thing bolted back together. Hope you're all having a great day, whether it's Sunday or whatever day. Catch y'all later. Like and subscribe. Thank y'all.